Let's talk about bond in this video. Bond and maybe stock too. Objective 2 and 3. Let's see. Bond is, I guess, slightly safer than investing in stocks, but you still have some risk. You basically let governments or corporates borrow your money for a fixed period of time, and what they will do is they will pay you simple interest semi-annually over the course of the term. And after the bond matures, the purchaser will repay the face value. So what you let them borrow, what you paid, they'll give that money back too. So what we call total return is going to be that face value, what you originally put in, plus the interest that you gained over the course of the term. All right. So what places can sell bonds? Like a little town. Maybe they want to build not a part, but can you change this to park for me? Say that a town wants to build a park for $1.5 million. And in order to raise that money, they may sell bonds. They may issue 500 bonds for $3,000 each to get that $1.5 million to build a park. With the term of 8 years, what that means is you have to wait 8 years to get your money back, and a coupon rate of 6%. So every year, every semi-annual, every 6 months, the town will give you interest. Consider the purchase of one such bond. Let's buy one of that. Let's buy one $3,000 bond, and let's wait 8 years. 8 years, and the coupon rate is 6%. Let's first find the interest that you will get for the next 8 years. Little bit, they will pay you a little bit of money, okay? So how much is that going to be? Interest is going to be, remember, principal times rate, and we're going to multiply that by time. The principal is how much? 3,000, because we're going to buy one such bond. The rate is 0.06 with 6%, and the time is going to be 8 years. So if I multiply 3,000 times 0.06 times 8, how much is that going to be? Let's take a look. Now, don't let the word semi-annual confuse you. They're not compounding semi-annually. What they're saying is that this is the amount of money. If you multiply these two, you will get 1440. This is the amount of money they will divide and give you for the next 8 years. So in the next 8 years, if I divide that by 8, every year you're going to get $180. But they're just going to give you semi-annually. So every 6 months, you will see $90 coming into your checking account because the town will pay you this interest. So for the next 8 years, you get $90 deposit into your account as interest. Now, the total return is going to be this interest plus the face value. And face value is the amount of money that you will get back at the end of this investment period. You didn't give them the $3,000. You let them borrow that $3,000. So you will get that $3,000 back. And remember all that interest that you were getting for the next 8 years. So the total return is going to be, if you add 1440 plus 3,000, $4,440. Yes, that's going to be it. So in the next 8 years, your money, if you just keep it in your, in your pocket, that used to be just $3,000 can grow up to $4,440 if you invest in this municipal bond. Now, something new, something a little different that's called average rate of return. Let me talk to you about how to find this, okay? Please write this. To find the average rate of return, you're going to have to find the compounded APR, the compounded APR that grows the face value of the bond to the total return. So basically, what's the rate that made your $3,000 grow into $4,440? And now I put the word compounded APR because I just wanted to make this rule general. But were they doing compounding interest? No, they were doing simple interest, right? So the equation that you're going to have to write is a little bit simpler, okay? So we started with how much money? $3,000, right? We're looking for 1 plus the rate R, and we waited how long for this money? We waited 8 years for this $3,000 to grow into how much? $4,440. So basically what you need to do is solve this equation backward to find R, okay? That's what we're going to do. And when you are solving this, we may have to take 8th root, because as you can see, the exponent here is 8. But let's solve this for R, okay? First, divide both sides by 3,000. Divide both sides by 3,000. I usually don't want to round in the middle of a problem, but if it is a nice enough decimal, I will write the decimal, okay? 4,440 divided by 3,000 is 1.48. That wasn't bad at all. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. You know what? I'm going to need more room. So how about I make this a little bit smaller and go from here. I get 1 plus R to the 8th power equals 1.48. Now, this is where we're going to have to take 8th root of both sides. 8th root of both sides. If you do that, we're going to get 1 plus R equals... now, let's take 8th root of 1.48 together. I think I used Desmos Scientific Calculator earlier to take 8th root. So let me do that. 8th root of 1.48 equals 1.050. Gotta be careful with rounding, you know. Let me go ahead and take a picture of that so that I can go to my notepad and write it down. Note. That came out to be 1.0502. I'll round it up about that much. And then what do you do to both sides to have R by itself? You subtract 1 from both sides, right? So what's the rate? The rate equals 0.0502. And if I multiply this by 100 to convert it into percent, I will get 5.02%. So that's the annual, that's the average rate of return that will make my $3,000 grow into $4,440 in the next 8 years. So that is going to be the rate. Okay, now that's slightly different from that. That's definitely not the same thing as the coupon rate. So this is what you're going to have to do to solve for the average rate of return. Okay, alrighty, let's try another one. It's almost the same thing. Just because I think it'll be nice to have a practice. All right, now what about a T-bond? T-bond. A treasury note is a marketable U.S. government debt security with a fixed interest rate and a maturity between 1 and 10 years. T-note pay simple interest semi-annually again over the course of the term. After the bond matures, the purchaser is repaid the face value. Just like the municipal bond that we looked at, T-bond is, it's just doing this. So, first thing that we're going to do is, let's read about example 4 first. Suppose that $6,500 is invested in a 3-year CD with an APY of 2.5%. Does it sound like a... This sounds more like a... Guys, I just don't think I never... This looks more... That's a CD problem. Or do me a favor, because I'm in the middle of this. I think I'm going to just change the problem with you over here, and I will change the PDF. But do me a favor. Why don't we change this problem to a T-bond problem, okay? Erase this for me. I made a mistake when I created this notes. I just never changed example 4. Alrighty, let's go ahead and do this. I'll make up a problem right now. Suppose that let's wait, how many years? A 10-year, let's wait 10 years. Suppose that a 10-year T-note is purchased with a face value of $10,000. What does that mean? In 10 years, you're going to get your $10,000 back. But it's also earning money for the next 10 years in interest. And a coupon rate of 3.3%. And a coupon rate of 3.3%. Now, that's enough. That's enough. We're going to find the total return, and then we will also find the average rate of return. So sorry I had to change the problem because it looks like I never changed the CD problem to a T-note problem, but I want to do one T-note problem with you as I'm going to ask you to try one on the homework. So what's the principal? The face value is the principal here. Write down 10,000 for the principal, and the rate is 0.033. The 3.3% coupon rate. And the time we're waiting, how many years? 10 years. So how much interest are we going to get paid in the next 10 years? You're going to have to multiply 10,000 times 0.033 times 10. All right, let me use my calculator on my phone, and then we will compare the answers. All right, so 10,000 times 0.033 times 10 will give you $3,300. So that's the interest that you're going to gain for investing in this bond. But remember, total return refers to interest plus the face value, because you're going to get that $10,000 back at the end of 10 years. So add that $3,300 interest plus the original amount that you invested, and we're going to call that amount, where's the comma for this? $13,300. That's going to be the total return of this T-bond, okay? All right, now let's do some little more, math to find the average rate of return. So what we want to do is, this is the same thing as that we did earlier. What we want to do is we want to find the rate. Find the rate that will take our original $10,000 to $13,300, and we're just gonna have to set it up and solve it backward, right? So the wording is going to be the same as what we wrote down above, but let me just set up an equation and then I will go ahead and solve that, okay? So here's the equation. You want your 10,000, and remember, these bonds are not going to have compounding interest. These are just going to be simple interest paid semi-annually. And the semi-annual part really doesn't play any role in this problem. Just remembering that this is a simple interest, I can use 1 plus the rate, and we're going to raise this to how many years? 10 years, and we're going to set this is equal to $13,300. So what interest rate will make our $10,000 to grow into $13,300 in the next 10 years? So let's solve this. What do you do to both sides? You're going to divide both sides by 10,000. Then you will get 1 plus r raised to the 10th power equals 1.33. All right? Now, what's the next step? To get rid of raising something to the 10th power, you're going to take 10th root of both side. Then you're going to get 1 plus r equals, well, first go ahead and, let me go ahead and evaluate what that 10th root of 1.33 is. All right, I'll do 10th root of 1.33. 10th root of 1 point, oh, whoopsie, I said 1th root of. 10th root of 1.33 is 1.02892. So let me write this down so that I can go to my notes. Alrighty, notes. That number came out to be 1.0289. Oopsies, I was writing with an eraser. 1.0289. And if I subtract 1 from both sides, ta-da, we found the rate. The rate equals 0.0289. And if I multiply this by 100, I will get the rate is 2.89%. So that is the average rate of return that made our money grow into 13,300 in the last 10 years. All right, so that's really how you do the bond problems. Kind of similar. Just gonna ask you to find the total return and the average rate of return. And I think I will, because the first two objectives, I did 2 examples of each. But then the third objective, understanding